What's up, everyone? Marc Lobliner, tigerfitness.com. Let's talk about the Olympia. So you guys know I am a huge fan of streamlined bodies. I like the wide shoulders. I like the smaller waists, big legs. Basically, I like a physique to kind of resemble what I always wanted mine to look like. I always wanted to be the most conditioned guy on stage. I always wanted to highlight my strengths, which, other than not having the largest legs, was my shape and my conditioning. And that's throwing my weak points like my arms and stuff to the side. That's what I always aimed for as a bodybuilder, even though Dorian Yates and Branch Warren were two of the guys I most looked up to for physique, but mainly because they came in so hard and conditioned that was I aspired to. So I really looked up to them for their work ethic and the way they got shredded. Okay, but if I'm looking at the prettiest physiques, I'd say Phil Heath at his best would be my favorite physique of all time. And I think a lot of people might agree with me. A lot of people might disagree, but I thought that was a beautiful look. I thought when Brandon Curry won the Olympia and the Arnold that year, I thought that was a very, very, very aesthetic and beautiful look. But now I'm going to take my bias out, which when I judge, and I've judged over 50 bodybuilding shows, when I judged, when I competed, when I did all of that, I always tried to look at the show from an objective bodybuilding point of view, where you're not just looking at conditioning and symmetry, conditioning and shape. You're looking at size. You're looking at muscle bellies. You're looking at overall development. A lot of genetics come into play for stuff like that, right? So when I'm looking at the Olympia lineup, and you got Brandon Curry making a run for it, you got these new guys in the mix. You got Labrada, you got Nick, right? You got Nick Walker. You got Big Ramy back in the mix. You got this Andrew jacked guy. And I'm not going to go into the top 10. I'm not going to go into the top 5. I think I've narrowed it down to who I think the top 2 are. And I will give you my rundown, and I'm going to try and do this as quick as possible, of who I think is going to win. The number 1 come-up contender of the year that I believe will place top 2 in the Mr. Olympia, it's going to be Nick Walker. Nick Walker has more muscle than, the only person I could think of having that much gosh darn muscle is Marcus Rule. But unlike Marcus Rule, Nick actually has some shape on him. I do think when he's not flexing, which doesn't really matter, his gut gets a bit not out of control. He has a pretty small waist for his size, but the guy has so much muscle, such thick abs, that it gives the appearance of a gut, but it's not. It's just he's a large guy. He's like 300 something pounds right now. Chris Aceto said he looks 400 pounds. I saw him next to a guy in a picture on Instagram the other day who was like in the probably mid 200 pounds. Nick dwarfed this guy. The guy has veins bigger than my entire arm. Like, you got to give him credit. Like, muscularity and size are a very huge component, because now they have classic physique for those, guys with just the pretty looks and the smaller weights, right? But with Nick, you just have muscle upon muscle upon muscle upon muscle. And honestly, he's pretty gosh darn symmetrical. I don't see Hottie making a move. I think his delts have too many lumps in them, and the judges, from what I heard, have already told him that's a problem. And judging by his off-season pictures, they're not coming up. I think Hottie's great. I love his physique. I just think he's taken that too far, whether it's just injecting his test in there over and over and over, or whether it's site injections, or I don't know, maybe he has a genetic maybe he has some kind of a lesion or a cyst. I don't know. At the end of this, delts look freaking weird, but he's such a shredded mound of muscle. I don't put Hottie there either. So Andrew, Hottie, Labrada, Brandon even, for him to compete against Nick and Ramy, and I want Brandon to win so bad. I mean, it hurts me to not put him in the top 2. And this isn't a knock, but anybody with eyeballs, I mean, if you're going up against Nick and Ramy, you better look like you have literally children coming out of your limbs. Like literally you need like 100-pound Pop Warner football players as your legs. Like that's what Nick and Ramy have. Their legs are stupid. So I kind of gave up who I think the other guy is. It's Big Ramy. So I've been watching Nick's progress, low-key stalking the guy online. Because I've never seen anything like it. The guy truly is a frigging mutant. And I've said some, not disparaging, but I've said things about Nick's physique and all that where I'm like, I don't know if it's my favorite. And man, it's the freak factor has grown on me. And also Nick's personality and attitude. And I fucking like the guy and I want him to win. But honestly, just being honest and looking, and it's hard to say, it's August, shows in December, a lot can change. A lot can change. And that's why I put these guys that are top 2, because while I'd like to think that Brandon could go to Kuwait and put on size, from my experience, you can put some size on the legs. But think about when Lavroni came back. He's like 50 years old. His upper body looked as good as it did in the 90s and the 2000s. But his lower body just didn't come back. To put mass on your legs, man, that takes time. That takes time. And at 30, and in his late 30s, and with all these years of training and all these preps, it's going to be hard. And I hope he shocks everybody. I hope Brandon comes in and his legs are bigger. But upper body, Brandon beats everybody. But you put him next to Ramy and Nick, and it's just not going to happen this year. It's not good. He can out condition them down there, but you're looking at an entire leg on top of his leg. It's not that Brandon's legs are small. It's that the competition has such big legs. And I hate to be that guy. Well, you always point at his legs. Well, because it's half your fucking body. So Big Ramy, dude, that picture of him. So my wife actually came to me. She's like, see Big Ramy post an update picture. Now my wife is not by any means a fan of bodybuilding. She's shaking her head no. She sits right across from me. My wife doesn't even like me in shape. Like she's happy that I'm not competing so she can actually be sexually attracted to me again. Before she had me put on a Richard Nixon mask. It's a weird fetish she has. I don't know what's wrong with her. And nipple tassels. I don't know what's up with the nipple tassels. And she's shaking her head at me like she doesn't expect me to say things like this. She loves me. So anyway, Big Ramy. I want to know so Big Ramy's problem last year, and I'd hate to go chemical, but I will. From what I could tell from Big Ramy last year, I do put Brandon winning, but Big Ramy was the incumbent, and Big Ramy was just big. So I think Big Ramy won last year for 3 reasons. 1, because he was the reigning Mr. Olympia. 2, because his legs were double the size of Brandon's. And did I just forget the 3rd one? So he had, okay, hold on, legs, legs. Katie, I need help here. Where was my brain? Why am I blanking? I forgot the 3rd one. So basically, because he's the incumbent Mr. Olympia, his legs. Oh, and he's just really big. He's just really fucking big. That is actually what the 3rd one was. Brandon beat him in conditioning, but what I think happened is Ramy in the morning was soft. So he wasn't hard enough. So basically, I think he overcarbed. And bodybuilders, I'm guessing, I have no idea what happened, okay? I wasn't there. I haven't talked to his camel crew. No, he's not the camel crew. He's the Egyptian squad. I don't know. I'm going to sound racist, but he's Egyptian. He's not Kuwaiti. Katie, I did not say anything bad. The camel crew, no, the Kuwaiti guys are called the camel crew, Katie. That is not racist. And my mom literally lived in the Middle East, so I can use the term camel and get away with it. I can also make Jewish nose jokes. So anyway, so check it out. So Ramy is just really big. But what happened is They over-carbed him. And when you carb up a bodybuilder, there's a lot of chemistry involved that I don't even know. I've never done it, but they do other things with the carbs that can cause tremendous spillover if you overdo it. So what I think happened is for the next day, they used diuretics to dial him in, to get the water off. If you overdo diuretics, it has a negative feedback effect where you actually start holding water. So if you noticed in the night show, Ramy, while big and impressive, had no lines, no striation, and was holding a very thick film of water. So I think this year, not only is Ramy going to come in big, and he has Nick beat, like Ramy's midsection looks like he's a bikini competitor. His midsection is insanely small. So I think at the Mr. Olympia, I said I wouldn't do this, but I think the top 4, and I think this will actually be the top 4 in order. You will see a pose down, at least the top 4. I don't know who the 5th one is. I haven't figured that shit out yet. Maybe Andrew Jack comes in and surprises everybody. We don't know. I haven't seen him next to anybody good. You have Ramy first, Nick Walker second, Hadi Chopin third, and Brandon Curry fourth. What do you guys think? Am I an idiot? No, don't answer that. What do you guys think about the Mr. Olympia? And don't call me an idiot. I will hide this user from this channel. Do you think Big Ramy's going to win it all again? I do. Do you think Nick Walker is going to come in second? I do. But I also think if Ramy's off, Nick Walker has the size to beat him. Do you think Hadi Chopin is going to be crowned the champion? I don't. Do you think Brandon Curry will surprise everybody, come in better, sharper, with better shape than everybody and win? I think that's more of a possibility than Hadi winning it. But I think if it goes as I think it's going to go, it's going to be Ramy, Nick, Hadi, Brandon. And I don't see William as if he's even competing. I just don't think Brandon beat him at the Arnold, and Brandon was, in my opinion, at one of the worst I've ever seen him at. If Brandon can beat him in not his best with only 10 weeks of prep, I don't see Boniak at his age coming in and making a move. And by the way, I'm a big Boniak fan. I'm a huge fan. I love his physique, and I do think he could finish 5th. But I don't see him placing in the top 4. Labrada, I don't think he's there yet. Andrew Jack, I don't know. That's a wild card. That dude looks stupid. But we'll see. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts. Comment down below. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel. Click on the notification bell. I need to drink some mental jewels right now because I'm all over the place. Like I just did a testimonial for a broker I use, and I'm all over the place, and I literally forgot 3 things. So I'm going to go drink some mental jewels. If you guys are excited about getting smart, about having mental acuity, try Ambrosia Mental Jewels. For me, as someone who's all over the place, a little bit of ADD action going on, it helps me. So it also helps a lot of other people who have scatterbrains like myself. Anyway, guys, I'll put that link down below. Love you guys. Be sure to shop at Tiger Fitness, and be sure to hug your wife, kiss your mom. That's not a game. Training intensity is everything. If you want to build muscle, if you want to get better, if you want to go hard, you need to train intense. A lot of pre-workouts, they get you intense. But then what happens? You crash. A lot of pre-workouts, they give you the pump, but then what happens? It wears off. A lot of pre-workouts, they'll give you all that stuff, but it doesn't add to your endurance. I want to be able to lift heavy. I want to be able to feel the pump. I want veins bulging from every single part of my body. I want to lift heavier weights every single time. I want to run farther. I want to run faster. I want to push harder, and I want to get bigger, stronger, and faster. And that's why I created Clash 3D. This pre-workout is next level, featuring 3D pump, Vasodrive AP, and a lot of other epic ingredients. Guys, this is the pre-workout that you need to take your workouts and your performance and your physique to the next level.